Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello, good morning. I'm always a little premature on that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to J is for Justice. Good morning. My name is Jay, and I have crooked glasses, and I am your host, and you are stuck with me for the next hour or so as we go over a true crime story in my area. Welcome, Diamonds and Lexi. Who else do we have? What other Greenie members, Roberters, do we have in chat? Let's see. Rose, Angie B. Look at Scott H. Hey, Scott H. This is early for you. Shell. Hi, Shell. Beautiful Shell and beautiful cousin Tracy. Sharon, Tuck. Onesies. You guys are all here. Monkey Biz, Rescue Mom, Lorraine Supak. Good morning. This happened in the Tampa Bay area about 2 weeks ago. And I want to know what you guys think. So let's get started, shall we? Hey, Mandy S. Board one. Roberta is now a suggested word in your phone. That is hilarious, board one. Wow. Miss, she lived 7 minutes from you, and you walked down her street last Saturday with a client. Ooh, yeah, that's really close, isn't it? That's real close to home. It's a sad story, you guys, and it's very, very mysterious. So let's get into it. Questions remain over the death of Tampa attorney. Thank you so much, Shell, for your super sticker. Look at Shell. She's like, drink that coffee, baby.
It's we have to stand down.
Ooh, stand down, Eagle 8. Shell just donated some fuel. We are off and running now. You want to get Eagle 8 off the ground? That's the way to do it. That's the way to fucking do it. Thank you, Shell. All right. Questions remain over the sudden death of Tampa attorney. Lisa Ann Dodds is in shock over the sudden death of her law partner and best friend, Lisa Westbury. She was a good friend. She was a wonderful attorney, and she had a fabulous mom, Dodds said tearfully. Okay, I have no idea why that ad's there. Someone explain this ad to me. Top 18 reasons why cats follow us to the bathroom. Well, I'm glad that I got that. Westbury, who was a mother of two, was also a successful Tampa attorney who once worked for prominent defense attorney Barry Cohen until his death. After Cohen's passing, she and Dodds opened their own law firm. So they're kind of like the Objection Sisters. It's kind of like one of the Objection Sisters losing the other. Everybody finds out about Lisa's passing and says two things. She says, one is, I'm sorry for your loss. And two, what happened? And she says, I wish I can tell people what happened. I want to know what happened. On the evening of June the 4th, Westbury was found dead in her bedroom of her Ruskin home. Ruskin is just outside of the Tampa area. This is really bright. Hold on. It's like blinding me. Oh. Too early for bright lights. All right. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office reports show that her lifeless body was discovered by her 13-year-old son. Awful. Records reveal there was a bloody wound near her mouth. One deputy described it as, quote, a gunshot wound on Lisa Westbury's mouth, while another responding deputy called it a, quote, possible gunshot wound. But no gun was found near the body. Weird. A bloody wound near her mouth. Records reveal, However, a detective on the scene had a much different take. He believed it looked more like a gash could have come from one of the family guard dogs, and that Lisa potentially passed from natural causes or a drug overdose. The Hillsborough County Medical Examiner says that Lisa's case is under criminal investigation, and the cause and manner of death is still pending. It's not normal for a 38-year-old woman who is in normal health and has no reason to pass away to just be gone. Dodds told Fox 13. It was like she was there and then she was gone. Where have we heard that saying? Okay. Sorry, I am a very obnoxious coffee drinker, I've been told. Documents show that Lisa's husband, Dustin Westbury, was questioned at the home and told deputies there were 2 guns in the garage of the house. You wait for it. However, they were never taken by investigators. He tells Fox 13, this is her husband, that his family is devastated over his wife's death. Dustin Westbury says she was an amazing mother and wife who cared deeply for the clients she represented. He has agreed to sit down with Fox 13 and share more of Lisa's memory. That part of the story coming soon. A celebration of life for Lisa Westbury is scheduled for June the 26th, which is in 3 days, at the Church of the Isles in Indian Rocks Beach, which is about 10 minutes from me. For more details, click here. Now, we do have the interview with Lisa's husband that I'm going to play for you guys. But, hey, Potato. Looking gorgeous yourself today. So they didn't take the 2 guns that were in the family's garage and use carrots to get rid of your knee pain. I'm so sick of these ads. But this is Lisa and her best friend, Lisa Ann. So it was like Lisa and Lisa Ann, the Objection Sisters. And I think Lisa Ann Dodds desperately wants the truth for what happened to her best friend and her partner. So that brings me, let me go over and see what you guys are thinking. And live chat, put it on live chat if you guys haven't. Audra D, what's up? You didn't see it on the news? Yeah. What kind of lawyer? I think she's a criminal defense lawyer. Yeah, Bullfoot 52. Bright light, bright light. I'm a gremlin. Good morning, Lori Staggs. And Lori Staggs, I want to tell you thank you so much for your PayPal donation. It is greatly appreciated, Roberta. Love me some Lori Staggs, and I hope you're doing well today. husband was home. Yes, he was, Ashley Oaks. Ashley, did you have a good birthday? Ashley had a birthday yesterday, guys.
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
Yeah, she was there, April C., and then she was gone. Candace. She was there, and then she was just gone. Does that sound like Candace? She was there, and then she was just gone. You're welcome, Lexi Taxi. Oh, Lori Staggs. She says you're welcome. All right, let's get to this hubby, shall we? Dustin. Okay, Shell says she wants to hear more from the husband before she makes a judgment. So, Mr. Dustin says that he is so very desperate to find his wife. This right here is the last known footage of Lisa. Okay. They got home. She was dead within a few hours of this Ring doorbell video at their house. Within a few hours, guys. But wait until you see how her husband decided to do this interview. You guys are going to shit. As if the Watts porch interview wasn't bizarre enough. Let's watch Dustin hiding behind the tree doing this interview. What? Why is Dustin hiding behind the tree? Shell, what do you think now? What do you guys think of this? I'm waiting for chat to catch up. Because I'm like, okay, they have pictures of you, dude. Everybody knows your name. It's not like your identity is private. But he did not go on camera.
Objection.
All right, let's finish. Oh, yeah, you know he's the number one person of interest. He was home. And think about that. She was there, and then she was gone. But she had a weird wound by her mouth. One of the detectives said it looked like, or deputies said it looked like a family guard dog had gotten her, whatever that means. I don't know anything about their guard dogs. Another one said it looked like it could be a bullet wound. Said, my wife's a hero without a cape. I'm getting Stephen Grant vibes. You guys remember Stephen Grant? We went over that case in Michigan where she was the breadwinner. He was a stay-at-home dad, but he couldn't handle it, so they had a nanny, and he started screwing the nanny, and then he killed his wife. This guy, my wife was a hero without a cape. I'm just getting those vibes. I wonder what deputies think.
Well, this evening we're hearing from the...
This right here. Hold on. We're going to replay this part. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I'm going to be responsible and reserve my complete public judgment. But you guys know where I'm going with this. Last one to see her. She's the breadwinner. My wife's a hero without a cape. She's there 1 minute and then she's gone. He doesn't find her. He lets his 13-year-old find her and be fucked for life. That boy found his mother dead. And if this guy did it, what a son of a bitch. But tell me why a family guard dog would attack the family. What would make them think that? But why would she have a wound by her mouth? Why would it be a drug overdose with a wound by your mouth? I'm not buying it. I feel like blessed and highly favored. Husband knows more than he is admitting. Right. Well, no, I think they're saying that it was a drug overdose and then the guard dog got her, maybe. That's what I was thinking because I didn't really understand where the two coincided. I know, Lacey. I can't either. Good morning, Audra. Welcome back. You would think that Ellie wouldn't be slacking. But Tracy, is it that they're slacking or is it that there's lack of help? The whole defund the police movement really fucked our police departments. But this is an investigation. This is a criminal investigation. And the deputies on the scene. Hi, cotton candy boobs. I don't think that, you would think if there was a gunshot in her face that it would project elsewhere than just being a little wound. I don't know how big the wound was. They didn't say. But I can promise you that the medical examiner has an idea of the cause of death, and I don't think they're releasing it on purpose. Dog trying to wake her up? Maybe. The last possible cause of death is sus. Well, and you hear her best friend saying, hey, I want to know what happened. And if her and her husband had a bad, rocky marriage, she's going to be the Nicole Atkinson of the situation, right? Hi, Frankie, my love. I just feel like a prominent attorney like this with no warning, is not going to off herself. Yeah, exactly, Supak. Me too, Shannon. So I'm going to keep updating on this, you guys. I'm not going to forget about this one. And it's very close to me, so I see all the headlines and stuff. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one because it's very interesting, to say the least. I did save a couple other things for you guys, like I do. I'm always looking for crime stories to bring you guys and updates and videos and everything else. So since we're on the Florida discussion, let's take a look at
statements began today
at this trial that is going on in Sarasota right now. Now, we all know that the Laundries and all of them were the Laundries weren't in court, but the Petitos were in court and the Schmitz. And that was in the Sarasota Circuit Court, District Court. Well, this trial is going on down there too. And I'm going to let you guys know what is happening in my neck of the woods. Because, in Florida, it's always good stuff. So here's a trial that just began this week for a Sarasota bishop. And you got it, essaying kids.
For the trial of a Sarasota bishop accused of sexually abusing children and young adults for decades.
ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane was in the courtroom today and has more on what was said.
74-year-old Henry Lee Porter Sr., the former bishop of a Sarasota evangelical church, is on trial. He's accused of sexually abusing children from as far back as 1989. Opening statements were made by the state, who is accusing Porter of 2 counts of sexual battery of a child under the age of 12.
Henry Lee Porter harnessed the word of God to sexually abuse children. That's what you're going to hear in this case. That's what this case is about.
The state says the jury will hear from at least 2 victims who were raised in Porter's church, the West Coast Center for Human Development. But the defense opened by explaining that Porter was the real victim.
I will agree that this case has elements of the art of manipulation in it. But the manipulation is not Henry Porter's manipulating. The manipulation is coming from witnesses.
The state started its case.
So, opening statements, his lawyer blamed the victims. And he called them witnesses instead of victims.
By calling victim 1 as the first witness. The now 40-year-old man testified that he was groomed and sexually abused in multiple ways by Porter from 11 to the age of 21 in a private room of the church that only Porter had a key to.
Then we would put our clothes back on. He would always pray, have us confess our faults to each other.
Part of why the victim took
Ew.
the stand is he says he feared it was still happening to other victims.
And the young man glanced at me, and I could see in his eyes that he was still doing this to young boys.
However, the defense cautioned the jury to pay special attention to the timeline.
Look at him. Look at that old bat.
These decades-old accusations. If convicted, Porter could face life in prison. The trial is expected to last all week. In Sarasota, Wendy Lane.
How much life does he have left? The dude's how old? 80? But yeah, disgusting. But 40 years later, you guys, like what? The what? Oh yeah, the Summer Lou's back. Has she been up and down? I haven't paid attention. Let me move doggy cam down a little bit. There she is. Hi, Summer Lou. She's my naughty one, you guys. She's beautiful, but she is mischievous. She's naughty. And look she's looking at me like, F you. I can't. All right, let's see what else I have for you guys this morning. That's a Sarasota one. Let's see what else we have. I save all kinds of stories to share with my Roberters. Let's go to watch later. I did look up the Trenton Duckett case. We kind of touched on that last night because when we were watching Lee Anthony, he talked about Joshua Duckett contacting him. So I forgot all about little Trenton Duckett, but I did find something crazy, and I'm going to show you guys. Oh man, and I've got to do a whole live on Uvalde shooting. So many updates in that. I heard yesterday that the chief of police has been put on administrative leave. It took how long for them to do that? Okay, so this is something
to possibly keep.
Now, I don't know if you guys know who Trenton Duckett is. Trenton Duckett was 2, and he went missing from his mother says from her home in Leesburg, Florida, back in 2006. Now, his mother reported him missing, and the same day she killed herself. She came here from Korea with her parents, and she was raised here. However, the police think that she did a handoff of the boy. So the mother and Josh, which is the dad, were going through a divorce at the time. And according to Josh and his attorneys, they think that the wife, or soon to be ex, wanted to keep the dad, Josh,
JB, it's we have to stand
away
down.
from the baby. Painting services by Steve. We have been wondering where you've been. Yay, it's Jay. Like, duh. Thank you, Steve, so much. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, True Crime with Shannon. This is the woman that Nancy Grace was sued. Nancy Grace was sued because Nancy Grace interviewed this girl on her show and was very, very tough on her. And the next day, this woman killed herself. So Nancy Grace got the blame. Even though Nancy Grace did not act any different than Nancy Grace normally does. But Nancy Grace got the blame, and she ended up paying the family of this girl, Miranda, $200,000. So this is an update from 2015. Now, mind you, this boy went missing in 2002. So they have surveillance video and witnesses that 2 witnesses from Wendy's said that Miranda, the mom, went through the drive-thru that day that he went missing, that she reported him missing, said Trenton was in the back seat. The employee asked what his name was. She couldn't hear. She remembered taking her earphones off to hear her say, no, it's Trenton, because she thought it was Denton. So then the lady leaves, Miranda leaves, and then comes back through the drive-thru and doesn't have Trenton with her. It's weird. And then there's a guy that works at a rent-a-center across the street that is a person of interest for them. So weird. Thank you, Shell. Okay, let's watch this. This is a press conference, a clip of one from 2015.
We believe that there was a conspiracy with someone else to possibly keep Trenton away from her father, Josh Duckett. With this, team members of this parallel investigation by the Marion County Sheriff's Office, along with Leesburg Police Department, Lake County Sheriff's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, are prepared to say that little Trenton is alive. Why do we say that? Because no one has proven to us otherwise. It's easier to find a live person than a dead one. And what we want to do is energize people all over the nation to look at every boy that's 2 to 3 years old, look them in the face, and ask themselves, does this look like Trenton Duckett?
Well, this evening we're hearing from the husband of a Tampa attorney who...
You guys, Trenton Duckett would be 17 years old. They believe he's alive, okay? So I need to show you guys the photo. Oh, here's the mother.
Okay. Until he is back at the house with me and this is over, then I can't possibly be doing enough with everything. And honest to goodness, I don't think anybody else is either. It's just because it's so frustrating. I know that there's so many people working and so many people concerned with everything. But it's just because I'm his mom that I don't know.
Can you even put into words how hard this has been?
Well, I was doing really good when I was talking to him until I saw one of the other kids over here, and I don't know. And through everything, I've been keeping, composure with everything and doing really well in the spotlight.
It's got to be hard to stay strong.
I'm all flutterbrained. I can't think of anything. See, that's why I don't like to.
No, it's
Hey,
fine.
Robin.
I mean, you tell me what you've been doing to try to keep yourself together during all this.
Honest to goodness, I can't sit and just constantly roll over the same things. It gets extremely depressing. I actually have to physically be proactive and be helping with something and doing something. He had asked me about, why am I not sitting down at the police station, this and that. The police, they have a limited amount of experience with this. They have,
You want to turn it off?
Yeah,
Put it
I
on vibrate
know.
or something?
I'm sorry.
It's kind of... Here, let me sit here with you a little sideways. You want to come this way? So the sun's not right. Okay. I mean, the police are, Joshua's whole family was there.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. He spoke today. And, they kind of said, well, she's not here. And they're almost making it look like, well, maybe she had something to do with this. What do you say to that?
I've been taking every single person in as, you have doubts about people and this and that, every single person. So for them to do that, that's absolutely fine. From my point of view, I can't sit there. I would literally drive myself crazy. I have to be out doing something. We did flyers. We've been doing things on the computer, talking to the media. It's just trying to stay on target as far as following with him, not going off on these tangents. Well, who do you suspect and why aren't you doing this or whatever? It just doesn't make any sense.
People who are critical of you, who say she doesn't seem to care, she doesn't seem emotional. What do you say to that?
Actually, kind of. I wish I wasn't sitting here right now. I just hadn't gotten done with all that. Gosh.
I mean, as a mom, you got to be going crazy. Can you put into words for people how this has impacted your life?
Everything's upside down. But if I don't keep myself together, at least during the day, keeping in contact with the authorities, particularly the FBI, answering any questions that I have, participating in absolutely everything that I possibly get my hands on as far as they go, then I'm not doing any good. And I have to be doing something to help with him.
Did you have anything to do with it?
Absolutely not.
I
would be sitting here, and I have not pointed the finger at anyone whatsoever. And even after, because I know for a fact we're going to find him, even afterwards, I really don't care about the people involved. I don't know.
You just want him back.
Absolutely.
What do you guys think? That's the mother of Trenton Duckett.
What's your leading theory? What do you think
This is
happened?
part 2. And that is the age progression photo. He would be 17. You guys, the police want anyone to look at him. And if you know a 17-year-old that looks like him, they want you to really study his face. And if you know him, they want you to report it because they believe this boy is alive. And they want the word spread that this boy is alive. And wouldn't it be amazing to find him and have him reunited with his dad? All right, let's finish part 2 of her interview at Venetian Gardens. And then we will show you what Nancy Grace said to her.
I don't know. I know that after I found him missing, I took it very personally because I am doing this on my own. Which
I'm doing this on my own. Okay, now mind you, right after she reported him missing, investigators found in the trash, in the dumpster, garbage bags with baby Trenton's toys, clothes, diapers, everything, his sippy cups, even a container with a child's like meal inside of it was thrown away. This is an interview from when it happened, Auntie Cheryl. This woman ended up killing herself after going on Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace was sued for wrongful death. But mind you, she threw all of baby Trenton's shit away.
Single, it was, fun.
She didn't even pull a Candace, April. She's worse than Candace because she didn't donate him to the church for other little kids to enjoy. She threw his shit in the garbage.
Everything was going great, but just the fact of, well, maybe when we were, I just checked on him not even like 2 hours before that. Maybe it should have been like an hour or something, or maybe I should have, done something else, or and things keep going through your head, and it just keeps getting worse with time.
But you never think somebody's going to come into your house and take your child. I mean, that's just so...
I know, because you're supposed to be safe at home. I haven't even been staying there. I've been staying with family or friends or anything that I can to not be alone.
Was anything else of his missing? A favorite stuffed animal or a favorite toy or anything that he took around all the time?
Not when he was gone. The police had come in and taken different things for his scent and whatnot, but other than that, there wasn't anything that
I don't think they told her that they found the shit in the garbage when they did.
That was missing.
Did he have a favorite toy or a favorite stuffed animal or something?
He didn't have anything that he would cry if you took away, but when he went to bed, he would cuddle with, he had actually a brown stuffed dog that the police actually took, but he would love that thing.
Tell me about him. Tell me about Trenton. What's he like? What's his personality like?
Very friendly, very outgoing. Thank God he was so easy growing up with me. We were just getting him to potty training. He was talking and saying words, and his personality, he would make you laugh when you really needed it. I don't know.
Is there any way that you and Joshua can just kind of mend this, put the bad blood behind you, just for now, for the sake of finding him?
None of what's going on has anything to do about anything that has happened between him and I. Since this has come up, this is the only thing that has any significance.
You guys, a lot of you are saying you see red flags. Okay, now here are the photos of what she threw away.
Search for missing toddler Trenton Duckett. Today, Leesburg police revealed there is no evidence showing anybody abducted Duckett back on August 26th of last year. Police also say there's no evidence showing Duckett has been handed off to anybody else, either in this area or around the globe. They think his mother, Melinda, did something to her son, and even after her suicide, she's still being called the prime suspect in his disappearance.
We haven't been given any hard evidence that he's not out
Josh's
there.
Mom.
It's kind of like he disappeared without a trace, So we have to hold on to our faith. We have to, continue until we know what happened to Trenton.
Leesburg police also released pictures of Trenton taken from the trash can outside his mother's apartment to the media for the first time today.
Yeah, she threw away his baby pictures, all the stuff like from when he was a little tiny baby.
Pictures tossed out by a mother who said her son had been taken away from her. West 2 Stephen Stock is live now in our newsroom. Now, Stephen, you've been covering this investigation since the very beginning, and were the first one to report about those recovered pictures about a year ago. Why are they so important?
Well, Wendy, they show what investigators say they believe was Melinda Duckett's state of mind in the minutes and hours after she reported Trenton missing. Sources close to the investigation have insisted to me all along that these pictures found in that dumpster are keys to the investigation because they mark a shift in focus in the investigation from a possible abduction to focusing on Melinda Duckett herself as the source of her son's disappearance. 1 year ago, West 2 News first reported the existence of this key evidence found in the trash dumpster behind Melinda Duckett's Leesburg apartments, Windermere Villas. Evidence found only hours after Melinda had reported her son Trenton as missing, supposedly abducted through a screen window that had been broken or cut by abductors. Now, for the first time, the public gets to see what those investigators first saw in the dumpster. And it doesn't take a detective to understand why it changed the course of this investigation. This evidence photo showing a baby sonogram, a photo of Trenton, and of Melinda Duckett and her then-husband, Josh. Baby clothes. Birthday cards, a toy box, and inside that box, baby toys, a child's pillow, bed linens, a pink teddy bear, and a note on the teddy bear's foot about Melinda's love for her son, even a half-eaten meal in a discarded child's food bowl. As you look at all of it, it's hard not to draw the same conclusions as the investigators. Investigators who privately told West 2 News the day they found these items that they figured Melinda Duckett knew Trenton was never coming back, that he had no use for the clothes, the bed linens, the toys. Sources say it was clear that in the hours after she reported Trenton missing, Melinda Duckett herself was getting rid of any evidence that Trenton had ever lived there. And police kept this evidence secret from the public for weeks after it was found in that dumpster. Again, they found it only hours after Melinda called for help. They wanted to continue to use the public to try to get more information about this case. But as you can tell by looking at those pictures yourself, this evidence is very powerful. Evidence that what sources say pointed to Melinda Duckett all along.
She threw away everything, even the baby magic baby bath, right? She threw away it all.
You see these stories on TV and you hear about them.
Help us find our daughter.
But no one has been able to find LaTanya.
You never in a million years think it's going to happen to you.
I never thought I would be one of those people.
On the walls of this home outside Buffalo, New York, is a story.
Mindy made this when she was 13.
The story of a mother.
There was a picture of her and her sister.
And grandmother. But what these pictures won't tell you is a family story shrouded in darkness. 14 years ago, Beth Eubank's family's world unraveled in an instant.
He was 2 years old when he was taken.
Hold on.
He doesn't know he's missing.
Her adopted daughter's son.
I will let you guys know why. I'll show you why they think he's alive. But this is the girl. This is the adopted mother of Miranda.
Duckett disappeared.
We're always prepared for the worst, but we hope for the best.
1,100 miles away, her former son-in-law, Joshua Duckett, has found his own path forward.
Biggest thing is just to keep fighting for the cause and to bring him home.
Shortly after losing his son, tragedy struck again. Joshua's wife, Melinda, Beth's daughter, took her own life.
I was 20 years old, and the girl that I dated all the way through high school, had a kid with, was married to, and lived with, just committed suicide.
She's not here any longer with us, and we have to be her voice. And we're the only ones that have the memories of her to share with Trenton.
The questions that followed: why did this happen and who's responsible? To begin, we go back to August 2006 and a 911 call.
How long has he been gone?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I was watching a movie that was 2 hours long. I had checked on him before anyone came down to the house.
Melinda Duckett reported her son missing from their Leesburg apartment. Investigators finding a cut in the screen of Trenton's bedroom window. A lingering question: what happened to Trenton, and was his mother holding the answers?
She loved Trenton very much. She was not the monster that the media and the public smashed her and bashed her out to be.
Now, a new tip is giving fresh hope for the family. A person who lived in the area at the time Trenton went missing has come forward with new information. Captain Joe Iozzi with Leesburg Police would not disclose details yet, but says time, in this case, may prove helpful.
There have been a lot of technological advances in investigative work to date.
Something Joshua and Beth hope will help uncover an unturned stone and bring Trenton back home.
We're not going to give up hope, and we hope that nobody else does either.
We will never give up looking for him.
That update was from 2020. They think this kid's alive. Seriously. Yes, she was adopted from Korea to the woman you saw there. I don't know if she's married or what, but that, I guess, is her adopted mom. So let's get to the Nancy Grace segment.
Trenton Duckett's mother. West 2's Kendra Astrike talked to Trenton's father today. She joins us live. And Kendra, what is Josh Duckett saying?
Well, Melinda Duckett was the only suspect that Leesburg police here named as a suspect in Trenton Duckett's disappearance more than 3 years ago. Today, the little boy's dad tells me that he believes it's not talk show Nancy Grace that pushed Melinda over the edge. He believes it's the guilt that got to her.
I mean, I don't feel that Nancy Grace done anything wrong.
Josh Duckett believes controversial talk show host Nancy Grace didn't hammer his ex-wife Melinda Duckett with any tougher questions than he endured when put in the hot seat about their son Trenton's disappearance in 2006.
She asked questions that really honestly needed to be answered.
Why aren't you telling us and giving us a clear picture where you were before your son was kidnapped?
Because I'm not going to put those kind of details out.
Why?
Hours after being grilled by Grace, Melinda shot and killed herself in her grandparents' closet.
She was judge, jury, and executioner, all in one shot.
Her family blames Grace in this lawsuit, seeking more than $15,000.
They didn't force her to do the show.
I only wish that I could have questioned her more.
Grace is set to give a videotaped deposition in Atlanta tomorrow morning, but a judge has ruled at Grace's request that tape cannot be released to the public without the court's consent. Duckett feels that's fair.
That if it does get leaked, it's going to turn my son's case into a three-ring circus.
Trenton would be 5 now. Investigators say in the last year they've only had 5 leads on potential Trenton sightings across the country and consider it a cold case. Duckett says he's still focused on finding his son alive, not on this courtroom drama over Melinda's death.
I think he was handed off to someone. I think the whole goal was to keep him away from me.
But if the whole goal was to keep the baby away from Justin, it doesn't mean she handed him off. But I get it, Kate. I feel the same way. Like, I get it. Having hope, but also being realistic. All right, this update right here is from 2 years ago.
Tonight, new hope for the family of a missing 2-year-old. Trenton Duckett vanished 13 years ago in Leesburg.
Now, a national organization has released a brand new tool to help find out what happened to him. News 6's Eric Sandoval is in the studio with the new developments in this cold case.
Yeah, this captured national attention when it happened, guys. Trenton Duckett, as they just mentioned, was 2 years old when he went missing. This is a picture of him right here. Now he would be a teenager. We spoke with his father tonight. He says this new picture is actually giving him hope that he may get the answers he's been waiting for. This is what the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children thinks Trenton Duckett could look like today. He would be 15 years old.
Handsome kid.
News 6 followed law enforcement from across Central Florida back in 2006 as they searched for the missing 2-year-old on land and in the water in Lake County. Investigators say he was last seen with his mother, Melinda. She committed suicide just weeks after he vanished.
Obviously, it gives us hope.
Trenton's father, Josh Duckett, spoke to us by phone. He says age progression photos like his son's are generated about every 2 years.
Gives us just that much more that helps keep his name and his info out there and continue helping with the search for him.
It's a search that he says continues. even 13 years later.
We've never given up, and we're not going to now. We've stayed strong since day one, and we know that there's answers. We prepare ourselves for the worst and hope for the best.
Now, Duckett and investigators are trying to get this new picture circulated as much as possible. If you think you know where Trenton Duckett may be, or better yet, have information on where he may be, don't hesitate, they say. Call 911 or the Leesburg Police Department immediately.
Now that, to me, you very rarely hear law enforcement give this kind of hope. You know what I mean? He is a cutie. I remembered this case as soon as I saw his little face. There is a story, though, as to why they believe that she was abducted or that she handed him off. And let me try to find that. Trenton Duckett. Let me see here. Here we go.
New at 4, breaking developments in the Trenton Duckett search. Yesterday, we told you how police had confirmed a second sighting of little Trenton and his mother at a Marion County Wendy's just before he was reported missing. Late this afternoon, police released their interview with that second Wendy's worker. Let's listen to part of that interview now.
Glanced at Melinda and looked to the back, and I seen the child, and, well, she was talking to me, my employee. I was looking at the child, and I noticed him back there, and he was just so cute. And I was just like, I smiled.
Did you notice anything about the car?
But see, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't look.
And Melinda, what did you notice about the woman that you're calling Melinda? What? I know you said a quick.
Well, she had she had long hair. She does have that. She had the Oriental face and everything, which is someone. It just, when I put the picture together, it was mainly the little boy that I seen. Like I said, when I seen him on TV, it was like a clip. Looking straight at his face, into his eyes.
Okay.
And
that's the voice of a second witness who saw Trenton Duckett before he was reported missing. You can watch the entire interview unedited at Local 6.
So these witnesses, there was 2 employees at the Wendy's that said he...
Developing now, 2 cars ended up crashing miles apart.
Sorry.
New at 4.
Anyways... Okay, wait. This one is the one that will show you the Wendy's story. Hold on. Look how cute he is. But yeah, there is a story behind the handoff. There's actually a guy who was 25 at the time that is a person of interest, you guys. I want to know where this guy is now.
Vanished from his Leesburg home in 2006. His mother said she put him to bed, and when she checked on him a few hours later, he was gone. A screen on his bedroom window was cut.
She says that somebody came through his bedroom window and took him. With that, there was a lot of suspicion going into that.
His father, Josh Duckett, was in the middle of a divorce with Melinda Duckett. He no longer lived with them. Investigators searched for Trenton on land and by water in Lake County. Family members appeared on local and national news shows begging for the public's help. Weeks after Trenton disappeared, his 21-year-old mother, Melinda, killed herself. The family sued talk show host Nancy Grace, blaming her for the young mother's death. Court records show a settlement for $200,000 from Grace is dedicated to finding Trenton.
And so I turned 21 in May, and it was like just chaos from then on. So it kind of makes you grow up fast.
Trenton would now be 17 years old. His dad, Josh, has spent the last 15 years searching for his son, showing age progression images, and each year holding a vigil on the anniversary of his disappearance. Over the years, there have been many theories followed by many dead ends, but he refuses to give up hope.
I mean, we see all the time cases where people are missing 20, 25 years, and then boom, they pop up because of something. It's very, very possible. But then we're also prepared for the worst case scenario.
I thought this was the one that told the Wendy's story. Sorry. I just find it crazy that law enforcement is even giving that kind of hope because typically they don't. You know what I mean? Typically they do not. I think we watched this one. Okay. Oh, here's another one.
New claims from CNN talk show host Nancy Grace. She now says that the mother of missing toddler Trent.
Mrs. Kurt Cobain. Hold on. Is there a reward for him to be found? I haven't heard of one, but I will look into that. It's a good question. And you crack me up, Mrs. Kurt. I saw you. I saw you and Emily D. Baker all asking about the Red Lick trial. You're obsessed, girlfriend. You're obsessed. So funny. So funny. All right.
Duckett prepped for her TV interview and wasn't caught off guard at all. Duckett's estate is suing Grace, accusing her of driving Melinda to suicide. West 2's Gail Pascal-Brown is live in the newsroom with the late-breaking details. Gail?
Well, Jim, as you mentioned, in the family's lawsuit, they contend Melinda Duckett was ambushed and pushed over the edge on the Nancy Grace show back in 2006. Now, this motion, this particular exhibit, says that Trenton Duckett's mother had prepared responses to questions ranging from her interaction with local law enforcement to taking the polygraph.
The documents recovered by then lead investigator Leesburg Police Detective Richard Giles includes information from Melinda Duckett's laptop and scripted responses for the Nancy Grace interview. According to the court records, the talking points, which say, from a mother's point of view, include the following topics: husband, emotions, suspects, coping with. Where Melinda Duckett writes, honestly, there is no actual coping in this matter. My son is my life, and with him gone, the only thing I can do is exist.
Why aren't you telling us and giving us a clear picture where you were before your son was kidnapped?
Hours before this interview aired September 7th, 2006 on CNN's Nancy Grace show, Melinda Duckett committed suicide at her grandparents' home. In their lawsuit, Melinda Duckett's family claims Nancy Grace and her staff lured Duckett to the show on false pretenses, then subjected her to severe emotional distress with their aggressive line of questioning, which led to Trenton Duckett's mother to commit suicide. In a previous interview, Nancy Grace has said she has no regrets.
No, I do not. I only wish that I could have questioned her more.
Attorneys for Nancy Grace wants a federal judge to
She
throw
wishes
out
she
the
could have
family's wrongful
questioned her
death
more.
lawsuit, citing Melinda Duckett was prepared with talking points and scripted her own performance.
We tried today reaching attorneys on both sides of this lawsuit, but to no avail. Trenton Duckett was reported missing in August of 2006. The boy remains missing. Live in the newsroom, I'm Gail Pascal-Brown, West 2 News. Jim.
Okay, you know what's weird is that I just Googled Trenton Duckett, person of interest, and all the articles with that person are gone. But I just watched a video, so I'm going to go in my history. I'm actually not going to share because you guys will make fun of me probably for the shit I watch. All right. I know I saw, because they showed the person, he worked at a Rent-A-Center across the street from that Wendy's in that same complex. I just need to find it in my watch history here because they showed him and shit. Kurt Cobain, you crack me up. Let me just say that. I'm just as bad, too. If you see my watch history, prosecutor grills accused murderer Danielle Redlick. Oh, here we go. I found it. I found some good stuff. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. Chai Chen is his name. ChaiChen. Chai Chen. That's the guy that was the person of interest. But let me start. I want to take you guys through. So Josh Duckett, the dad of Trenton, is the one that Lee Anthony was talking to every day when Kaylee Anthony was missing. Lee Anthony tells Casey in a jailhouse call that he's been talking to Josh Duckett every day about how to manipulate the media, how to manipulate law enforcement. And this is all Lee Anthony's words. This is all Lee Anthony's words. Yeah, Chai Chen. And Joshua Duckett went to the Kaylee Memorial, too. All right, I think, yeah, see, there's another one of our girl. Okay, so the first one we're going to watch. Let's watch this one. This is the father, which is Josh, of Trenton Duckett, scrutinizes the investigation.
And only on 2, Joshua Duckett lashes out against one of the agencies searching for his missing 2-year-old son. He says the Marion County Sheriff's Office is bungling the search for Trenton Duckett. WestU News reporter Kathy Marsh spoke at length with Joshua today and the investigators he is bashing.
Wendy, they dispute all of that. In fact, tonight, for the first time ever, a high-ranking official within the Marion County Sheriff's Office says a person of interest they've been questioning in this case has failed a lie detector test.
See?
Now, that doesn't make that person a suspect, but investigators says it proves that they haven't been bungling this case. They claim Joshua Duckett and his mom are just coping with the unimaginable, a toddler missing for about 7 months.
You know, he's our top priority. All we want to do is find him.
But Trenton Duckett's paternal grandmother, Carla Massaro, worries the focus is off finding
Florida.
Trenton, missing since last August. She claims sheriff's detectives are leaking investigative info to online bloggers, fueling rumors and lies like one saying she refuses to take a lie detector test.
And then they took that, ran with it. Now they have all these bloggers talking about me and Melinda's father, challenging me and all this stuff, and I think it's ridiculous.
And for Marion County to say that my mom refused to do a polygraph is totally off the wall.
I have no problem with them administering a polygraph.
Marion County Sheriff's Major Chris Blair denies any detectives feed info to online bloggers, saying further they offered Carla Massaro a lie detector test only after she asked for one to clear her name.
There's an issue that came up with Carla that she had a lot of information going on the internet and people, you know, a lot of rumors, this, that, and she was concerned about that. So a polygraph issue came up between the detective and her, at which time she thought that she could clear her name by taking a polygraph.
Reporting in Lake and Marion counties, Kathy Marsh, West 2 News.
Why does this always have to be such a mess? You know? Why do they have to be so messy when it comes to a kid being missing? Like, work together, for Christ's sakes. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, that one's interesting. Okay, here we go. I think this is it.
Well, Jackie, the day Trenton Duckett vanished, detectives searched his mother's apartment complex. Days later, crews were out searching woods like these. Now tonight, 5 months later, Local 6 has learned detectives are searching through international airline records, trying to determine whether the toddler was whisked out of this country. Did Melinda Duckett recruit someone to smuggle her son Trenton through a busy airport and onto a plane bound for Korea?
We do have certain individuals that stated that Melinda had talked about her roots and possibly sending little Trenton back to his roots.
Marion County investigators believe Melinda, who was born in Korea but adopted by a New York family when she was a baby, may have handed her son off to someone near this Bellevue restaurant hours before reporting Trenton missing from his bedroom. Now detectives are combing through airline passenger lists, trying to determine whether Trenton and his possible captor were among the 12,000 people who traveled from the U.S. to South Korea that weekend.
You know, like I said, we're working with Customs. We're issuing some subpoenas for us. They're aiding us in trying to obtain information on people that were located on certain flights.
For now, detectives have no solid proof Trenton is being held captive in Asia, and they don't know who Melinda might have entrusted to care for her son there.
Did she have any contacts in Korea?
None specific that we're aware of at this time.
But Marion County investigators feel they owe it to Trenton and his family to span the globe searching for the missing 2-year-old.
We are doing
Okay, I think that's kind of irresponsible of LE. April C., what are you talking about? I think that's kind of irresponsible of LE to give them that hope of he might be in Korea when they have no reason to believe that. Why wouldn't she have just gone back to Korea with him? It doesn't make sense. God, I need to find that one where they show that guy, though.
Investigation, and we will be able to say that when we complete this, whether we find Trenton or we don't, is that we made every available effort to locate him.
And besides looking into that possible Korea connection, detectives continue to interrogate people here in Central Florida as well as in other states. We'll have more on that coming up, all new at 6 o'clock.
Other states? I mean, this is just all over the place, is it not? Where's the one with the chai guy's name? Here it is.
Good evening. I'm Jim Payne.
I'm Wendy Chioji. Tonight, a major development in the search for the missing little boy. Investigators think they know where a deal went down, where someone took 2-year-old Trenton Duckett and possibly handed him off to somebody else. He disappeared 3 months ago. Trenton hasn't been seen since. West 2 I-Team reporter Bob Keeling tells us why this new development has investigators thinking Trenton's still alive.
Marion County investigators say they believe 2-year-old Trenton Duckett is alive and that his mother conspired to give him to someone. Now they're focused on this Bellevue shopping area straddling both sides of U.S. 441.
We believe that it was an original location where there was a drop-off.
Here's why. On the day Melinda Duckett reported her son missing, August 27th, just before noon, 2 workers at this Wendy's reported seeing her with the boy. Minutes later at 12:08, authorities confirm she made a phone call to a close friend, 25-year-old Chai Chen, who works just across the road at this rent-a-center.
So with that new development of him working across the street, him being the last one to speak to her in Marion County at that 12:08 telephone call, with the connection to the 2 witnesses at Wendy's, yeah, we're going to go down different avenues.
Marion County investigators called Chen a person of interest but not a suspect. He voluntarily answered investigators' questions this week and took an FBI polygraph last week. Now, according to law...
Did you see him peace sign the media? What a smart ass. Well, they say he took a polygraph, but they didn't say if he passed it or not.
FBI polygraph last week. Now, according to law enforcement, Chen has told them that the only thing Melinda told him during that critical 12:08 phone call that day was that she invited him over to watch videos for that night. But is that all they talked about? That's what law enforcement wants to know.
I mean, it all points somewhere.
Meanwhile, Trenton's father, Joshua Duckett, the man Marion County investigators believe Melinda conspired to keep the boy from, calls the new Bellevue connections a big step towards finding his son alive.
I think Melinda's passed him off to someone, and it's just a matter of finding him. It's pieces to a puzzle.
Now, Marion County detectives have been in the process of contacting and interviewing as many people as possible from that shopping area, including Chen. That is the latest reporting live from Leesburg and Lake County. I'm Bob Keeling for the West 2 IT.
It would really be amazing if that little boy is still okay, Bob.
It sure would.
If you have any information that might help in the search for Trenton, call investigators. The number is 1-8.
Enforcement wants. The only thing Melinda told him.
They were supposed to watch movies, and then she kills herself.
Later at 12:08, authorities confirm she made a phone call to a close friend, 25-year-old.
That's him. The fuck? Like, where is he now, I wonder? Chai Chen. I can't find any other information about this man. I can't find anything, any articles about him, but let me try to search his actual name. Chai Chen Trenton Duckett. Nothing since 2006. Here, this is 2007. I'll read this one. So a year after Trenton went missing, it says, so he went missing when? August 28th of 2006, and she shot herself on September the 8th. So a week later. A week after he went missing, his mom killed herself. Investigators can't agree among themselves, and detectives from the Leesburg Police Department. Is that where he lives? Tavares, Florida. Go knock on his door and see if there's a 17-year-old boy there. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't go anywhere near this man. So investigators can't agree among themselves, and detectives from the Leesburg Police Department, the lead agency on the case, Marion County Sheriffs, FBI, and the FDLE have devoted untold numbers of hours and varied resources finding the boy. Trenton's father, Josh, and other family members marked the child's third birthday with a party outside the Leesburg Police Department. Officials with the Marion County Sheriff's Office believe the child was handed off to someone and that he is alive. Melinda Duckett's grandparents, and this is apparently she shot herself in her grandma's closet. Melinda Duckett's grandparents, Bill and Nancy Eubank, think their great-grandson was abducted and that he's out there somewhere. During a news conference held by Leesburg detectives, officials said they have ruled out handoff and abduction scenarios, and yet they refuse to put unspeakable words to what some are thinking. We're not viewing him as a statistic, Major Steve Rockefeller said. This is prior to them, I guess, thinking he was in Korea. I mean, they're all over the place with this case. No wonder the public can't keep up. Leesburg police say Melinda remains the prime suspect. During the same news conference, they released evidence pictures that appeared to bolster their suspicions. They showed the pictures of the trash. The cops did say that the clothing was outgrown clothes. Okay, here we go. Especially with the death of Melinda. For example, is this significant, if any, Melinda's friendship with a young man named Chai Wen Chen? His name surfaced during the investigation of Melinda's cell phone activity. He was interviewed and given a polygraph test. In November, Marion County Sheriff's detectives said Chen failed portions of the test and maintain it is pertinent to the case. Leesburg officials, however, say Chen is not a person of interest. We just heard he was. We should, Audrey D. We should ask Maligator's Lamp if for guidance. The fact that he failed a portion of the test is not critical to the case, Rockefeller said. Adding, the investigative team has looked at his statements from multiple angles, and they are satisfied with his answer. Major Chris Blair, head of the Marion County Major Crimes Division, however, disagrees. He failed a polygraph, and we cannot eliminate him as to have knowledge of Trenton's whereabouts, he said. On August 27th, 2 witnesses at a Wendy's said they saw Melinda and Trenton. One witness took and passed a polygraph test. Nothing criminal, huh? He's 40 now? Interesting. Leesburg officials, however, dismissed the Wendy's sighting and eliminated it from their timeline. Chen worked at the Rent-A-Center across the street from the Wendy's. Sheriff's officials contend he had a key to Melinda Duckett's apartment, and the two were good friends. Duckett's grandparents said they met Chen at a birthday party for Trenton and saw him later, after Melinda reported Trenton missing. They describe him as a, quote, nice young man, and they don't believe he has any involvement in Trenton's disappearance. Reached by phone, Chen declined comment for this story. The police agencies also disagree about Carla Macero, who is Josh Duckett's mother. Sheriff's officials said in March that Macero asked if she could take a polygraph. Authorities said that she was willing until she asked if she could receive the same questions given to her son. What? Who asks that? Hey, my grandson's missing, but I'll do a polygraph as long as you ask me the same questions you asked my son. What the fuck kind of thing is that? Why are people so weird? When sheriff's officials told her no, she declined to take the test. We would like her to take the polygraph to eliminate all doubt, Blair said. Rockefeller said Macero, who has been very cooperative, volunteered to take a polygraph, but we didn't deem it necessary. He said the FDLE and FBI agreed with his agency. She says, I just agreed to take a polygraph. I never asked for any questions. Adding, sheriff deputies were the ones who asked her about the polygraph. And she said, I don't have a problem taking one. So who do you believe? We're dealing with facts and evidence, Rockefeller said. We have no evidence of a handoff, and we have no evidence of abduction. I could only speak for our agency. Hi, Potato.
In the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord.
There's many twists, turns, and avenues that you have to keep your eyes open at all times. It's like coming to an intersection. You have to look left and you have to look right before proceeding. No one has the correct answer. So there's several agencies involved and none of them agree. That's promising. I mean, that's got to be really promising. I just can't believe. Okay, detectives in the search for missing Trenton Duckett are now poring over international airline records, trying to determine whether the toddler was whisked out of the country. We do have certain individuals who stated that Melinda talked about her roots and possibly sending little Trenton back to his roots. And then they were asked, oh, hey, does she have any connections And they said no. So there's timelines, there's all kinds of shit. But here's the Che Chen. So she talked to him at 12:08, and he said it was to invite him over to her apartment in Leesburg to watch videos that night. Then she killed herself. Weird case. All right, let's finish watching this about Chai
Chen, who works just across the road at this rent-a-center.
So with that new development of him working across the street, him being the last one to speak to her in Marion County at that 12:08 telephone call, with the connection to the two witnesses at Wendy's, yeah, we're going to go down different avenues.
Marion County investigators called Chen a person of interest but not a suspect. He voluntarily answered investigators' questions this week and took an FBI polygraph last week. Now, according to law enforcement, Chen has told them that the only thing Melinda told him during that critical 12:08 phone call that day was that she invited him over to watch videos for that night. But is that all they talked about? That's what law enforcement wants to know.
So there you have it. There is the story behind Trenton Duckett. And the dad right there, like I said, was involved with the Anthony family in Orlando when Kaylee went missing. Trenton went missing in 2006, and then Kaylee went missing in 2008. So maybe when Josh heard this story, maybe he thought Casey had handed her off to someone, you know. Hi, Joel. What did Miss Robbins say? Hang on, let me look at your guys's. Oh, she retracted it. Damn it. Have a great day at work, Miss Potato. Ashley, Jay, have you followed the Dylan Rounds case? Potato, you hearing this? He went missing about a month ago. Crazy PI stirring up drama, and he's from Florida. So, yeah, we just got that PI's contact info for an interview. Would you guys like to see an interview with him? I haven't really followed that case much, but I know that he was the PI working for the family, and that they're saying that he was believing small town rumors. So we'll see what happens with that. She says yes. I think we should text him today. I think we should bring him on. I didn't know he was from Florida. Or did I? He's a jerk? I don't know him. I like to talk to anybody that's willing to talk, right? What makes him a jerk? I don't know him. I know nothing about the case. What makes him a jerk? I'm curious. Let's Google it real quick. Want to see what's going on? Because I don't know. So what are you thinking, Kate? Are you thinking? I think so too, Heather. I think that he thought that maybe the same thing happened and he could help, them get through it. What was I looking up? Oh yeah, Dylan Rounds. Dylan Rounds PI. He got married 2/25/10. Happy anniversary. Jim the PI. Oh wow, there's lots of news about him, huh? Always some drama. That's what I said. Always in a missing child case is there drama. What's this? It's a crime. The falsified abduction? Do people think
19-year-old Dylan Rounds has been missing since Saturday, May 28, 2022. A few days after his disappearance, a person called up Dylan's mom, Candace, and this was before the media knew that Dylan was missing. Was this to control a narrative? Was this attention-seeking? Or is there something more sinister? It's odd. In my last video, we talked about strange signs of foul play. We talked about what we knew so far in the case and also
So he left his boots at the farm. I know that much. He's been a PI in a lot of cases, you guys. I Googled his name. He's helped a lot of families. And just because this family doesn't like him doesn't mean that I shouldn't talk to him and interview him. Is it this guy?
Some weird stuff's been happening.
This guy, Heavy D Sparks, has been following cases too. Is that his mom? Thank you so much for coming. Dylan is a wonderful kid who has so much potential. We really appreciated you coming and looking when no one else would. We are still not getting much law enforcement help, and we are searching alone. Oh, that's Dylan's aunt. I don't understand what... Sleuth Mom? I don't know who that is. But no, I want to hear from him. What happened? I got no skin in this game. I mean, private investigator fired by family, alleged rumors and small town gossip, but he had no receipts. I saw an interview Nate Eaton did with his mom. But I don't really know what has made the family so mad at him. Like, what? Dude, this PI's been around for a long time. He's been finding people for years. He's not someone that just came out of the woodwork. Yeah, I'll have to listen to this stuff when I'm offline, but I'm not against talking to anybody that is willing to do interviews. So everybody has the option if they want to watch it or not. But if there's things going on that maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe the family is in denial and doesn't want to hear him. I don't know what the case is, but you know, okay, here's live with, okay. Oh, shit, that's fucking loud. This person, let's see, what's their name? Monkey Mar. Monkey Mar had him on. So let's take a look at how this went. Oh, that's him there. Let's take a little thing.
Persons cases. My mom was
I mean, the dude's pretty transparent. He's got his phone number right on the screen. A Tampa number. Yikes, Ashley. Oh, he is awful, like with other families? Why does he keep getting hired then? He must be good at what he does.
hiring as a school teacher in Central Florida. I grew up in Clearwater Beach. And she says, I'll tell you what, if you go to private investigating school at Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, Florida, I'll go back to night school with you and we'll take the courses together and we'll be a PI. And what they never told you in the case. So I went back to college. I went back to school with my mother. My mother was almost 70 years old. And we were.
This he seems like he's a smart ass. There's a lot of people that are arrogant. Hey, Krugman, I love you too. Thank you for being here and being a rebirder. How long have you been a rebirder, Krugman? Let me see. 7 months. Oh yeah, all I have to do is play a few seconds, and I can tell his personality. But isn't it true? You take the classes, and then we'll be Okay, hold on.
Problem with it. I mean, I don't want people out there thinking that they're not allowed to challenge me or question me. I'm as thick-skinned as it comes, and there is no question out of bounds with me. But if you guys feel more comfortable with that, that's your call. I don't want anybody thinking that
Well,
that's...
challenging you, Jim, is one thing, but just coming off with a straight-out rude comment, then it's just, I'm not going to do the bullshit.
Those are probably my family members.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I love him. Okay, so.
Okay.
Goddamn tear. I've been more emotional than the mother has.
Oh, he goes hard. Woo!
Or the saddle sore, one of the owners.
Okay, I don't believe it. I could be wrong on the name, but I did speak to many people involved with Kurt, including Kurt himself and his family members. They actually reached out to me.
Really?
Yeah.
So then what happened when you realized, okay, well, everyone's talking about Kurt being a 62-year-old man being Dylan's boyfriend. Like, how did you get to him, from him to Troy? Like, how did you, talk to them, reach out to them? Like, what did you get from them?
Well, first I had to tell the the grandparents and the aunt. And I said, listen, it's been 4 days. I can't sit on this anymore. A private investigator's job is not necessarily, and this is where people watch too much goddamn television, it's not necessarily to solve the case for a criminal purpose. It's not necessarily to solve the case at all. Sometimes it's just to vet things, to pass information. I told the family the cops are the best in the world at what they do, but there's 3 or 4 things I can do that the police can't. I'm not bound by the same jurisdictions they are. I can work on one case full time. I can be 100% available to you 24 hours a day. Saying things to me lawyer doesn't mean shit. If Kurt wants to say lawyer, the cops can't talk to him anymore. He says lawyer to me, I'm going to ask him my second question. So there's a lot of things I can do that the cops can't do, which is what I told the family I would do. And I would not take another case or let go until I got a call from Aiden's mom, who, by the way, hired me as well, and we'll get to that. That's another boy who looks just like him who went missing 20 miles away.
What? Who's Aiden? Who is Aiden? You guys know this channel? Who is this guy? I would love to talk to this dude. Why not?
There's a man out there that owns the Lucin Airport from Russia. He's been out there for a long time.
How does Zav Girl handle this guy?
To him, I give you a percentage of what I thought based on the days. But if any of the family would like to go one-on-one with me at any time, they're more than welcome to. I have no problem answering questions.
Jim, I've heard you even say that maybe they were out doing their little militia pulling people over and he was accidentally shot.
A guy called me who was an alpaca farmer, and that was his theory as to why the truck, which is the one thing the mom did find out, that truck was power washed. God bless her for that. It's the one nugget. There were some people that said he was out there with them. They were doing this militia, and I'm using the wrong word, not militia, because there's, they were basically vigilantes. And they were out there protecting property from people that were doing thefts, guys like Chase, right? Guys like from the beginning. And the guy told me that he believed that there was an accidental discharge of a firearm that might have winged that kid.
Did he just say winged that kid? Is this guy originally from New York or something? I know he's from Florida, but damn. Why is he got to talk like that? And this comment says, Jim, keep looking. Prove yourself right or wrong.
What, 16 people?
Oh my God, he shut his mouth.
Like Heavy D said, meth heads are farmers.
Exactly.
I have a feeling that, let me just ask you this. I'm starting to feel that he might not even be on the Utah side anymore. Maybe him and Aiden are, it's such a coincidence that two 19-year-old boys that look so much alike were missing like a month apart.
A gay militia? What the fuck is he talking about? So I heard that he thinks that Dylan is gay and that's why he disappeared or something? Because he's gay and he, can't tell his family? Is that what he's insinuating for you guys that have obviously watched more than I have? And I have seen his mother on interviews, and Robin, I know what you mean. We will look into this more, though, and I'm going to end this live here in just a few minutes. But before we go, oh my gosh, I hate to wake up my dog. Before we go, I want to make this nice and big, because if little Trenton Duckett is out there, he's not so little anymore, you guys. Hey, Alley Cat Claus. He is not so little anymore, you guys. He's 17 years old, and this is what he may look like. Meow. So if you know anybody who resembles this child, take a good look at them. And they say urgently call the Leesburg Police Department or the Marion County, Florida Police Department or the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So that is what he is alluding to, is that Dylan is gay. So what? I mean, would his mother not like that or something? I mean, I don't know these people. Oh, thank you, Robin. I just think it would be absolutely amazing to see this boy found. I mean, there could be a kid out there that's 17 and graduating from high school, and he could be Trenton Duckett, and he doesn't even know. Well, I mean, I guess the point is, if he took off because his parents wouldn't accept a choice, like a lifestyle choice of his, no matter what it is, that's a lot different than being abducted. So I guess that's why he probably thinks that it's important. The PI thinks it's important that if he found out something about his sexual orientation, could he have left to live his own life? I don't know. Good morning, Maligator. I mean, the family's saying it's small town rumors. Why would anyone make a rumor up that he's gay? But are you sure that the mom would be okay with his choice? Are you sure? We don't know these people. We watch interviews, you guys, and we assume we know these people. We don't. We don't. Look at Cindy Anthony. She was holding little Kaylee's bare bottom up to the jets of their swimming pool. We never knew that before. We never caught that before. It's gross. But we don't know these people. We don't know what they're like behind closed doors. And we're so scared to say anything negative because their son's missing. But we don't know. We don't know the full circumstance. We don't know if they're telling all. We have no idea, but we do know that the police aren't working with them for whatever reason. Police don't typically do that. And unless you know him, you don't know if he would have left. Who just stages boots? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. There's three sides to every story always. His side, her side, and what really happened. Fired? Fired for what? See, I don't know anything about him. We shall see. I'm going to dig into this more, you guys, but I'm going to end this. And again, this is Trenton Duckett. He's been missing since 2006 from Leesburg, Florida. And this is what he would look like today at 17 years old. He's never been found. His mother was the last one with him. she committed suicide, and they think that Trenton could be out there somewhere. So, yeah, you guys, we covered the lawyer that was found dead in her house with her husband at home. Husband hid behind a tree during the interview. Then we covered the Trenton Duckett case, and then we talked about Dylan Rounds. So if you missed some of it, you might want to be kind of rewind or replay later. Fired for his attitude and delivery of information. Were they paying him? Or was he doing it out of the kindness of his loyal heart? All right, you guys, leave some comments in the comment section below if you have any comments about this or questions or anything that relates to this. I would love to see any stories you guys have found on any of these stories we covered today. So thank you again, you guys. Thanks all the members. You guys are amazing. And I hope to see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. We're going to go over George, Cindy, and Casey's jailhouse calls. You're not going to want to miss this. We watched Lee last night. Now it's time for the parents. Oh, these cases, they're just such a mess, but we can't get enough. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's lunchtime, Roberters. I love you.
Roberta.
See you soon.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
You know, the proof is in the pudding, if you will.
You wanna be with me.
You have to stand down.
You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that.
God almighty.
Late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buy new shoes.
You know Dawn's full of shit.
On Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time.
That's correct.